Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Peace. This is your boy Arthur coming at you. I'm here to make a quick video in response to Conspiracydude's some video he made where he talks about black celebrities, Kanye West in particular, saying that slavery is a outdated concept. And I made a video already about the Steve Harvey scenario where he talks about, he doesn't give a rat's ass or a damn about slavery. I guess he doesn't give a damn about slavery since they're paying him millions of dollars to look like a cone buffoon. And I guess Spike, not Spike, well, Spike Lee too, he's an Uncle Tom, and Kanye West, they're paying him millions of dollars for making garbage records. So, of course these guys don't care about slavery, and they're gonna say whatever, they think that the people who pay them lots of money want to hear, and us and we in the black community should distance ourselves from these people and realize the true talent that we see in our community. People we see in day-to-day life. Not everybody in our day-to-day life. Not everyone out here has a great personality or a high level of confidence or star-studded type charisma, but there are people out here who are just as talented as a Kanye West or Steve Harvey, and even more talented than a Kanye West or Steve Harvey or Spike Lee. But, they didn't get those proper connections because they're not gonna, they don't want to be a part of that world. So we need to distance ourselves as a people and start to recognize the people who are in our communities, the real talent. Some people, the people who go to work every day. The people who will make you laugh. Because a lot of these people, they're not as interesting as you may think. Most of that stuff is glamours and glitz and cameras and action, and people behind the scenes who make them look like more than what they are. I mean, I talked with Spike Lee one time when he had his book signing for the book, That's My Story, and I'm sticking to it. Talked to him after he signed my book, after I bought the book, and talked to the guy. Very boring guy. Didn't have much to say at all. Seemed a bit introverted, if you ask me. Now, Dr. Cornel West, he is a very interesting man. He seems to have a lot to say, but I think he's more along the lines of the minority of the group. I think a lot of the Hollywood stars, so-called stars, are it's just all acting. You meet most of those people off the set, and then they're just straight boring people. But these people, like the Spike Lees, and also the Uncle Tommy Sotomayor. He said a lot of stuff like he wishes there were a black Holocaust, so so someone can come and get rid of most of these Negroes out here. Like, if there was a black Holocaust, they would just leave his black ass, sitting there on the radio. How they gonna leave you? What you gonna do when all the other blacks are gone? If they fry most of us, ain't no need for you. You only around so they can use you, against the other blacks out here. So we can't come together on a collective consciousness type of plane to where we can defend ourselves against this onslaught called white supremacy. That's full of treachery, and it's full of technology, man. They're using tricks on us. And I just want to talk to the people who are talking about there's a difference between niggas and black people. And I hear a lot of black people talking about, yeah, man, see, I can't trust these niggas, man. You see, these white people, they just come and they just do this and give you your money. But these niggas, they'll always come around. They always want something for free. It's like, man, y'all sound just like the demon, man. When y'all talk like that, it's just symbolic of it being all over. Not all white people are honest. If there were how could we be here right now? If all up more honest, how did we get here? Come on, man. And like I said, a lot of people believe this is our native land. Okay, so, and we were once on the money, on the Confederate money when there was slavery. So how come we're at the bottom of the food chain? Somebody's been very dishonest. And you would say, oh, well, blacks were a part of putting other blacks in slavery too. Yeah, but they weren't the grand orchestrators of it. You can't just look at the few people involved and you're going to ignore the master, the ones who hired them. So if you're mad at them if you're mad at blacks for putting other blacks in slavery, you're not going to be mad at the whites who hired them? You silly motherfucker. Man, that's why I say I can't. Sometimes I just can't do it. But blacks, saying that stuff, man. Every race has a problem. I'm not saying that our people aren't in a bad position right now, but a lot of that is from the intake of drugs overflowing the community, and we don't control drugs coming in. I mean, I know they have stories about Frank Lucas and all this other nonsense, but if he put drugs on a military plane and flew it over and sold it in Harlem, then he was working for the U.S. government. How is a black going to be able to bring drugs over in a U.S. plane, and the average black in America can't drive without being pulled over? I mean, y'all got to think, man. Come on. Come on. People don't realize this. When you talk like that, when you say, when you get mad because another black has betrayed you, and then you say, oh, yeah, man, these niggas are all alike. That makes us all look weak. And that makes it look like, blacks or white officers can kill us with immunity. I mean, they're not even going to trial now. Even in 1955, Emmett Till's mother, she got to go to trial for her son. Now, it was a fake, phony ass trial, but she did get a trial. This is 2015. This is 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 05, 15. This is 60 years later. Eric Garner's officer, the one who choked him out, he didn't get a trial. The brother in Cleveland, who they shot in the store, he didn't get a trial. I mean, it's crazy. The kid in Mike Brown in Missouri. I mean, these people, no trial, man. So it's like when y'all say that, when blacks talk against other blacks and call other blacks niggas, you're making a whole race look weak. You got to think with a collective mind, man. Because no matter how much, and plus these pseudo-intellectual blacks, no matter how much you don't want to be on the same team as someone with their pants down, they're looking at all of us the same. Just like that PhD who they arrested for trying to get in his own house a few years back. You're going to see more incidences like that, because we're looking weak. When you say that stuff, and like I said, I address the black women because I feel like, in some ways they are traitors. They've been traitors to the black men. They took the money. They accepted feminism. They took the bait, and they were put in the driver's seat after the black man was overthrown, after the Black Power movement, or toward the end of the Black Power movement in the late 60s. And they've taken the bait, and now they're paying for it, seeing their black sons getting killed, and even some of them are getting killed. So, but it's like, regardless of what happens between ourselves, I still wish for us the best, because you can't say niggas and you hate these niggas, but at the same time you black or you light skinned. You can't say that without hating yourself. So I mean, it's a pitiful situation. So like, but these black celebrities saying that, it's like Spike Lee too. That's how some of these guys get famous. They have what I call the 80-20 scenario. Matter of fact, one guy said on here, he said something about 80%. One of these guys on YouTube said 80% of the black people's problems are caused by them. And that's what Hollywood uses, the 80-20% ratio or scenario, meaning if you say, or what I call the 80-20, which if you say if a black person comes out with a movie or a book and he talks about racial relations and he or she claims that 80% of the injustices that are received by blacks, are caused by them, and only about 20% is caused by whites, then you can be a star. But if you tell the truth and say, well, only 20% of it is us because we don't control shit, and the other 80 belongs to the establishment, you're not going to be a star. Look at all the movies, The Color Purple. Most of that was the black man whooping on a black woman, which was nonsense and garbage. Look at like even Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all that stuff mostly have blacks just doing it to blacks. Do the Right Thing. That scene when they were on the store, when they were those three black men who were across the store. What's that black comedian's name who died of a heart attack? Robbins or something, I want to say. I don't know, short, dark brother. But yeah, they're across the street, and the man was talking about the Koreans owning the store across the street, talking about that building having boarded up for as long as he could remember, and those Koreans were fresh off the boat, and they went ahead and purchased him a business, and he'd be so glad when blacks finally get themselves a business. In other words, how you gonna let Koreans coming from a million miles away set up in your community like we have any say so over that? It's not like we haven't had our own communities. Tulsa, Oklahoma, blacks were they had their own dry cleaners, stores, movie theaters. They were making millions and millions of dollars back in the 20s. So much so that they were economic proof, they were depression proof, and a lot of whites came to black banks to get loans. But what happened with that? When they started making millions, they were bombed. That was the first major attack on Americans, was the U.S. government bombing those black people. And those people, their ancestors, their children still haven't received reparations for that. Rosewood was a profitable black community in Florida. There were black communities in North Carolina. Harlem, Madam C.J. Walker made millions off of the straightening comb. I mean, we have black businesses. Well, what do they do with Harlem? What are they still doing? They'll drive, build a freeway through your community. It caused dislocation. So, they know if you can't stay, in one area for a length of time, it's going to be real hard to build up wealth. So before it goes to the second generation, they'll build a highway. They'll build an expressway like Neely Fuller was talking about. So, they have tricks, all kind of tricks out the bag, man. It's hard to set up in a country that has their foot on your neck. You can't just get up and say, I want to start a business. We don't own any banks at this point. Nothing was passed down to us. How are we going to build anything? We don't own any Home Depots. You're going to need bulldozers. You're going to need bricks. You're going to need cement, tons of cement. You're going to need building permits. You're going to need permission from the city. Who's going to give blacks permission to build their own communities, even if they could? When we've done so and have been bombed, and just like in Tulsa, they went ahead and caused a race riot. So stop with the BS, man. Constant BS. And I'm gonna make a part 2 in this video because I'm just getting warm. So until the next one, you guys make your comments, put them in the comment box, and I'll see you in a bit. This is Author out for part 1.